Hi, I'm Liz Larson with The Art of Frosting, back with some cake decorating basics. Today, as you can see, I'm not in my regular studio. I'm here in Leah's Crazy Cake Lab. And I want to do a little collaboration with Leah today. I've been wanting to show you guys this princess cake, which is basically layers and layers of borders that you already know. So even the simplest borders layered up can look really fancy, and that's kind of the technique that I want to show you today. We're going to use lots of tips, basically whatever we have around, and that's another thing I want to show you. You don't have to use anything specific for this cake. Really, whatever tips you have will work. So today I might use some of these. So I just want to show you what they are. This is a number 180, a large tip. Sometimes it's called a 1M. I've actually got a number 126. I normally like a 124, but someone doesn't have one here in her studio. I'm going to use a number 22 star tip, which is my old standard, but I may also want this smaller star tip, which is an 18. Really, with star tips, it's about the pressure. You can get a larger or smaller shell. I'm probably going to use a 104. I might use this leaf tip, which happens to be a 67. I can never remember that one. And I'm going to use a 4 rider. I always use this. So I'm going to send Leah off to do the second part of our collaboration, which is a gorgeous crown made out of candy melt. So if Leah can get off and start planning that, that would be great. And you'll see that in her video that will be linked to this one. Let's get started.
That would be great, and I will start that candy melt crown. However, this calls for princess wardrobe first, so I'll be back.
I'm starting out with an 8-inch round. This is a nice tall cake. You can use a 10, a 12. You could really even use a square for this, but you want it to be nice and tall to fit in all the borders that we're going to do. So why don't you come on in close and we'll get started with the first border. I'm starting with the top of my cake, and I want to show you a quick way that sometimes I'll mark. I want to just split in half here and then come back across this way. Now remember, this cake's actually going to have a crown on top, so we're not so concerned about the middle. And then split it again. You're basically making like pie wedges. Now after a while you get to where you can eyeball this, but this will really help because what I'm going to do is make garlands as my first layer on the top of the cake. And I decided to use my number 126. And I'm going to start here like that, just one. And then come all the way around like that. And another like that. So we're holding real flat against the cake. And we're going to do that all the way around. Okay, so this could actually be a border in itself on the top of the cake. And so oftentimes I do lots and lots of borders, and some of you guys say, oh, it's too much. Well, you can use any layer that you want and delete any layer that you want. But I really want to show you, especially those who are working as commercial decorators, how quickly you can get a really elaborate looking border. This would be perfect. You could leave it by itself. I'm actually going to add the next layer, which is a zigzag garland. And you can see that I'm coming right on top. So we're going to start with light pressure, heavy pressure in the center, and light pressure at the end. See, I'm guiding and just moving my wrist to get that shape. I really like this garland. Of course, this is normally seen on the side of the cake and not on the top, but we're going to use it on the top here. Okay, again, we could stop right there, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna use just a circle here, just a circle dot in between. Okay, we adjusted the camera a little bit so you can get a better view of the top. The next layer I'm gonna use a number 4 rider, and I'm actually gonna drop a line just like we would on the side, a little bit of string work, and swirl around like that. And I'm using a real creamy, true pink here. But you could use just about any color you want, any color the princess who the cake is for likes. Okay, I'm going to stop right now for there, and we're going to move down to the sides. I'm now working at the base of the cake, and I'm just going to do a straight shell. You guys remember straight shells, right? The reason is that the next design layer is actually going to go over this layer some, so I just want to seal the edge of the bottom of the cake. Now I'm on the next layer of design on the side, and I'm actually going to use these top ones to kind of mark my bottom ones. So what I want to do is I want to go diagonal. I'm going to kind of go from this side to this side and use what I've done on the top to get those even. I'm going to start with a ruffle, and I'm going to start about maybe 2/3 of the way up and just bring that ruffle down and kind of around about to there. Then I'm going to start my next ruffle, and I kind of want it to cover over that one just a little. You can kind of get an idea of what we're going for here. Next layer, I'm back with my star tip. And like I said, you really could use any size star tip for this. And I decided that what I'm going to do is a little bit of kind of a scroll work here. So I'm just kind of using my reverse shell technique here, my drop in a line sort of technique here, and back around. Okay, I'm going to do one more layer in here, kind of along the same theme as I did with the top with my number 4 writer. I'm kind of going to follow this line here, just come down to a thin. Want to see that again? So I'm moving on to flowers now, and no princess cake would be right without roses. So I've actually moved down to my 104 chip because I want my roses to be pretty dainty for this. You know, you don't want huge roses and huge borders. It's all a little too much. So you want to soften it up with a little bit smaller roses. Now, what I'm doing here is my color striping technique. A lot of times when I do roses, you guys ask about this and I don't actually show it. It is in my How to Pipe a Rose on a Stick video, which I'll link, but I'm going to show you here. So I filled the back with pink, and I'm going to take my star tip, which is already full, and I'm going to fill it with white so I get a nice variegated flower. I've also switched to a darker pink for a little bit of variation in color here. And you're just going to squeeze out until you kind of come up with the color you want. And your roses will also change as you go. So why don't you come up a little closer now, and I will pipe a couple roses for you. Okay, so I am forced to do this on a popsicle stick because, like I said before, I'm in someone else's studio who doesn't happen to have the size of skewer that I like. It's kind of funny, even though I was trained by my mom and Leah was also trained by her and by me, she has her very own techniques. And those of you who learn from both of us will also have your own techniques. There's a pretty little rose, and I'm going to place it right in here. Our roses are now all on, and because I just can't help myself, I'm going to add one more layer to the top. And right on top of this little dot here, I am going to put some sweet peas. I want the balance of color up here. Plus, I just think more is more. All right, we really are kind of at a stopping point here. We've got lots on here. It's very pretty, very frilly. And we just want to add our little touch of green. And I've got that number 67 leaf tip, and I'm just going to do a zigzag and release my grip and pull. So zigzag and pull. And you can see that even my leaves are variegated. So we want to come with our leaves just in under our roses, and again that zigzag and release, and you want to do that all the way around. So this is it, guys. We're finished with our frilly princess cake, except for the crown. So I hope you guys enjoyed learning this. It's a lot of simple borders that we just combined together Try it out yourself. Try combining all different kinds of borders, all different kinds of flowers, and use what you know and use the tips that you have around your house. So again, thanks for watching. There's tons more to come. Don't forget to subscribe. It's always free. Like us and share us if you will. It really helps a lot. Join me at Facebook, The Art of Frosting, and www.theartoffrosting.blogspot.com for my blog. And also, there's Leah. We need to have that crown. Are you ready?
I'm totally and fabulously and awesomely ready. What?
Well, it doesn't match.
Listen, I had to make do with what I had. This is the only thing I had. I am not a princess. I'm a rock star.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, if you want to see Leah make this really pretty crown, look what she did here. This is all candy melt crown. If you want to see her make this pretty crown and mount it on the cake, join her where?
At Leah's Crazy Cake Lab, the YouTube channel. And I'll teach you how to do this pretty candy melt crown, and I will do it fabulously and princessy.
We'll link it at the end. Thanks, everyone.